Hey everyone, hope you are doing well. This is going to be a little more of a laid-back video talking about Palantir, talking about Nvidia, because there's similar roads crossing. I've talked about this once already. I want to do a reaction video to Dan Ives talking this week. He said something that was like, like what everyone's kind of thinking, and he said it so perfect. So I want to look at that. It's a very short video, but focusing on obviously where's the S&P 500 going? Tom Lee came out and said the S&P 500 he believes is going close, if not to 7,000 points here by the end of this year. Holy smokes, his theory is that because all these tech companies have been coming out with such massive quarterlies that the S&P is somewhat lagging behind, and it's going, actually, we need to catch up here. Dan Ives, very much in this realm of tech, is going just starting into this whole new realm of revenue that we cannot even fathom at this point. So, this is a defining moment for a lot of investors where you're either going to be a part of this or you're not. And, we've seen so much happen just in this short 8 months here in the market so far, where, people decided back in January, I don't want to be a part of this market just because of the uncertainty, because it was fear-based in the market because, Trump's going to sink the market, all this. Then DeepSeek came in, that whole riffraff sank the market a little bit. Then we went right from that into tariff came in, that completely devastated the market. But then we've had this V-shaped recovery since then, and people still are like, I don't know. I just can't trust it. I don't want to be part of it. And it's a very small minority of investors, but there's still those people out there that are just like, you know what, I don't want to be a part of it, or they're not going to push into these tech stocks because they feel like it's like the internet bubble of 2000. I get everyone's concerns, reason why, who, what they're doing. But for the ones of us that are pushing into this new moment, this next 5 years in the market, I think this is a very big moment, defining moment for a lot of us in our investing life. And even if you've been in the stock market for 10, 20, 30 years, this could be a whole new moment. That's what's so special about the market right now, that what we're going into right now, what we've been a part of, what we're really looking at right now, this could be a whole new start. So for people that are just building brand new portfolios right now, they have all the chance in the world right now to really push into some heavy early numbers and moment in the market. Imagine right now you're buying into this market, and within the next 6 months, even a year, if we don't make it, we get to a 7,000 point range in the S&P 500. My God, imagine what everyone's portfolio is going to look like. Not to mention if you've been buying since the beginning of the year, if you've been buying for the past few years, 10 years, whatever it may be, we're all about to see a lot of push up in our portfolio. So before we go more into Nvidia, we go more into Palantir, I want to watch this video with Dan Ives because it will really, give the foundation of what trying to say here, and I'm kind of just leapfrogging off what Dan Ives is saying here, and obviously I'm ride or die Dan Ives, so I think that can make that pretty clear here. All right, here we go.
Talk about Palantir and whether or not we should see some fireworks. The options market, I'm just checking right now, is implying a pretty decent sized move. What exactly is the street expecting, or analysts expecting, when it comes to Palantir's results?
Yeah, Dom, Street's expecting upside here in terms of the quarter, but I think Street's underestimated. We're seeing this AI revolution. Palantir is one of the leaders, and I think that's why they're the Messi of AI. And when it comes to the use cases on the enterprise, they're exploding. Look, I think next 2 to 3 years, this is $1 trillion market cap.
If it's the Lionel Messi of this particular AI boom, then what the expectations are have to be really high. How much does it have to beat by, and on what metrics, for that stock to keep continuing on the trajectory that it's on?
Yeah, it's a great question. Look, commercial growth called 45, 50%. But when I'm looking over the next, call it 6, 12 months, I think Street's underestimating numbers 15, 20%. This is just in the beginning of this AI revolution. And when you look at who's leading it, of course, it's Godfather of AI, Jensen, Nvidia, Microsoft. Look at all the hyperscalers. The use cases are led by Palantir. They're basically playing chess, and everyone else is playing checkers. And that's why I think that's what's going to show up tonight.
Okay, if that's going to show up tonight, this is also a situation where you can't dispute the fact, Dan, that many of these types of names, Palantir included, have seen a massive surge in terms of their market values over the course of the last year, and especially over the last 2 years, given the AI boom. It's leading some folks to question whether or not valuations are justified at these levels. Some are even using the word bubble, likening it to back in the dot-com boom. Is that the case here?
I mean, I think it could be further from the truth because there's someone that covered tech stocks in the late 90s, in the bubble. This is dramatically different because it's a revolution. It's trillions of dollars that's going to be spent over the next few years. And that's why it's a fourth industrial revolution. When you look at Palantir, look, if you look at just the valuation over the next year, you've missed every transformational tech stock the last 20 years. And I believe Palantir is one of the core leaders of not just next year, of next 3-5 years. I think Karp and the team are playing a different game. And I think it all comes down to use cases on the enterprise. And I've said it's only 10 p.m. in this AI party that goes to 4 a.m. It was 9 p.m. a year ago.
Man, I love what that guy has to say. He said it's only 9 p.m. last year. Last year was 9 p.m. and it's only 10, 11 p.m. now. Crazy, meaning we've still got a lot to go here. So, talking about Palantir being a part of this administration for the next 4 years guaranteed, and undoubtedly will go into the next administration. Palantir is probably going to be with, the United States government for a long time now because they have a certain product that we like, we're going to keep using. And two, these contracts will probably keep getting heavier. The thing with this right now is that Palantir is in this, working with our government for a long time at this point, and these contracts will probably just keep kind of compounding on top of each other where they just will not stop at this point. And this is what is really fueling this hyper sensitive movement in Palantir, to where it's doing so much for Palantir, not just for investors, but Palantir having so much money so fast where they're able to push their software, make it better, expand it. Maybe they're working on something new that we don't even know about yet at this point. But this is, and that's a whole nother conversation where what doors can open up for Palantir in the future. I believe that Palantir very much is this very much new threat in the market for a lot of different reasons, where a lot of older investors go, it's too high, it's too much money, this is ridiculous. I'm not paying almost $200 for a company that just started reporting billion-dollar quarterlies. I'm not doing it. And I get that conversation. I get it. And I've said this, and when people get upset in the comments when I say like you're paying too much money for Palantir, it's overpriced. I say that mathematically for what the market cap is towards what the price is now. I totally get that. I personally, I am ride or die Palantir for the long term here. I don't believe that it's overpriced when I think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'm looking at Palantir as, okay, 3 years from now, this has kept going. This ridiculous, train going down the hill on fire is just, it is just getting crazier and crazier here. Who knows where we're going to be quarterly wise, revenue wise for every year. What are things going to look like by 2028? By the time we get to Trump coming out of office here, who will take back over? Will it be the Republicans, the Democrats? Either way, Palantir will continue to do well. And Palantir is already capturing so many other partnerships, so many deals outside of just this administration. So it's a phenomenal thing to watch, something that is really just ridiculous, but such in a good way. Like I've said this time and time again, it doesn't have to make sense, friends. You just know you're making money. It's a whole new situation that is unraveling in the market 100%. I have different positions in Palantir, but there's still a position in Palantir where I'm still buying it, even at these prices, because I don't know where Palantir is going 5 years from now, and I want to have as much as I can for whatever's about to happen. And if there's a stock split 2-3 years from now, it's all going to be worth it 100%. If you can be a part of the first stock split for Palantir, the first one, imagine what that's going to look like 5-10 years down the road. Imagine. So Palantir, that's where my mindset is, that the already ridiculous situation that has been Palantir just even the past year at this point. It could get more ridiculous, and it probably will. It probably will. Now, Nvidia, I look at in kind of the same light here, where Nvidia very much part of this administration. Not to mention, Nvidia already has a solid foundation with business, the biggest market cap. Now they're saying Nvidia is going to execute quarterlies over the next 5-10 years where they think they will never miss, even by the slightest margins at this point. So, I still think that people, it's going to do you well to invest in Nvidia, because we don't know where Nvidia is going from this point. Like Dan just said here, we're just in this 11th hour, okay? We've still got 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 in after hours here post-market. So I would be very careful saying that these stocks have, you run out of room. I don't think that's true. Now, obviously, I'm not gullible when I say that Palantir more than likely will have pushback. It will be pushed back to 140, 150 here somewhere. We'll see a dip. There's got to be a dip here somewhere. But in that dip is that solid anchor that will be thrown out and caught here, and people will start buying up where the dip is. We've seen it here with Nvidia already when it took that split here back last year. So, I think fundamentally these are two very expensive parties that you're having to pay to be a part of right now. I get it. But they have so much more coming down the line. So I'm buying them. I'm buying them both still. I have them at different positions. And when someone asks you like, hey, what's a safe stock to buy right now? These are always two stocks that I tell people, hey, these are two safe stocks for the next 5-10 years, from what we can tell, are going to continue to really push some big numbers. Listen, if Palantir starts to slow down here within 2 to 3 years here, I will start taking massive profits. I will, but right now, I don't see the need to. That's me personally. If you need to, take them. I feel the same way with Nvidia right now, where I'm still banking on these two stocks moving enormous numbers here in the next 2 to 5 years, 10 years. Who knows what's going to happen here? So I don't know. Hopefully that helps someone. It get you excited about what's coming here. This is such a massive moment for investors in the stock market that I hope everyone's looking at kind of in that way too, where this is a key moment for investors to really push into this very long, lengthy road that's coming here with a lot of these AI stocks, and they're going to do phenomenal numbers for themselves, but investors are going to be able to ride this roller coaster ride with them as well. Friends, thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.